Hey guys, J77 here, doing pretty much the first video I have done in a while with my face on it. I didn't really feel like doing it audio, but more of a just me talking to the camera type video, especially with this one topic. Now, before I go on, I do want to apologize for the lighting and if you hear any air, because I do have the air conditioning on, even though it's raining like crazy outside. Um, I felt I needed to get some air because this place, especially where I'm in right now, gets hot very, very quick. And being that I got pretty much the room to myself, I pretty much said, what the hell, I might as well talk about the latest drama that is going on in the Jackson family. It's really very crazy, and I was wanting to do a actual live video in the cafe, but I'm not comfortable doing so in the cafe I'm actually in. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm trying to look for a nice trendy cafe where I can actually sit down and not worry about the nonsense that goes on. There's a lot of stupid stuff that goes on in these cafes, and it's not even their fault. Especially they do try to keep order, but there is just so much nonsense that if I can tell you about it, it'd be like a full-fledged video. So I'm actually looking for one that is more customer friendly and won't tolerate some of the stupid stuff that goes on. And until I see that, I can actually feel more comfortable posting a live video there. That and the music does also play a part in that. So for now, those live videos is going to have to be delayed a little bit longer. But it doesn't want to stop me from talking about this particular topic. Now, I'm not going by what any article says. I will mention what some of the articles have been mentioned, but this is just me doing my own thing, doing my own opinion, and just that. Because let's face it, there's a lot of stuff that was said about this story with Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson's 15-year-old daughter committing suicide, that I can't really believe what is being thrown out there until the actual facts is slowly but surely is brought to the full frontal into the front page. Needless to say, I've been getting one article that said that she had slit her wrist and then took some pills that prompted a 911 call that rushed her to the hospital. Another one said that she took pills and then called the suicide hotline, I believe, which prompted a 911 call and that rushed to the hospital. Some say it wasn't pills, but she did had cut marks which prompted a 911 call. You also have other stories saying the reason why she did it is because she couldn't attend the trial that involved Michael Jackson and the guy who they said was allegedly responsible for his death. And then there was another one which I'm finding it very hard to believe, very, very hard to believe, that the reason why she did what she did was because her family refused to let her go to a Marilyn Manson concert. Again, I find that very hard to believe in the article. And this article was in Metro. It's a daily free newspaper which does cover news and is pretty good at it. But what they have said, just really, I'm not convinced that's the real story. About a few hours ago, before heading home, it was announced that a judge have ordered an investigation into the Jackson family because a lot of stuff is being said, but a lot of stuff is not being answered, at least in terms of what the hell went on, what's going on, and what prompted her to actually try to take on life. Needless to say, this is very, very serious. And being that the fact that the Jackson family had a previous history with Michael Jackson's daughter, her grandmother, along with her aunt, the judge is now really saying, okay, something's not right. We need to look into this, and whether or not this is actually a safe place for these children to be in. And that is where I'm very, very concerned about. And I'm going to talk about a little bit about Michael Jackson. Sorry, I actually kicked the table there. But most importantly, I want to talk about some of the stuff he did in the past and why slowly but surely you can sort of see why he did some of the stuff he did. As crazy it may look on camera, how ridiculous he tried to do it, and I mean, believe me, there was a lot of stuff he did with his children to shield himself from the press. You can actually understand why, because right now it's been 3 years since his death, and a lot of stuff that's coming out in the Jackson clan is not good. As you know, Michael Jackson, when he had his 3 kids, he really tried his best to shield them from pictures, shield them from any kind of interviews. He really did not want them to be looked at in terms of the public eye as some kind of exploited figures to just put on the tabloids or the press. Of course, that actually backfired because the way he went about it, with the mask, with the veil, shielding them, made it look worse than what it actually was. I myself was just scratching my head on why he was doing this, but I think this was his only way of saying, I'm not going to have my babies exploited like this, because he knew how the media is. And let's be realistic. If you look at some of the kids who are just there now, some of the celebrity kids, some of them are exploited to a bad degree. Some aren't as exploited as it is because some of the parents are going to have that nonsense. But I can see where he would try to protect them. Granted, he still went about the wrong way. I think even his kids mentioned how weird and awkward it was. But it really, because what he is, what kind of icon he was, and what kind of legal troubles he also has put himself through. Yeah, you can easily see the media attacking his children. After his death, of course, we started to see their faces a lot more. We started seeing a big reveal, and we started to see a lot of stuff coming on the surface, like questions, which I was kind of surprised that the media wanted to know about whether or not one of the kids was actually Michael Jackson's, to the situation that, to this day, I don't think it was ever a straight answer ever given by anyone close to or the Jackson family itself about the deal with the grandmother, the mother of Michael Jackson. And what I mean by that is there was some serious allegation that was actually brought up by Paris herself, that her grandmother was being kidnapped. Wanted to know where she was, what's going on, and it led to a lot of questions. Why was she held against her will? Where was she? And what really drove me as odd and pretty much suspicious that they was trying to hide something was when you saw her for the first time and was speaking to the press, but not in her own words. And I know she's old. I know that she is up in age, but I still felt that she was being coached into saying some of the words. I never felt that those words were hers. And she was saying about how some people within the family may have been responsible. She don't know why. But I also felt that the Jacksons themselves, as a whole, was trying to hide something. And I think and I could be wrong, I think there's actually a rift between, especially with Paris and the rest of the Jackson clan. There's definitely some reports about that, and I kind of feel there's more truth to that than what it is. And I actually believe that Jackson's fortune does play a role in this. Now, almost a year later, we got this situation, and when this story first broke out, it happened. I have like it's no secret. I have like a little monitor on the side of my computer that actually feeds me news every now and then. It's a Google app, but it actually is effective. And immediately, once Paris Jackson's suicide attempt came out, I was like, "Wait, are you talking about Michael Jackson's daughter?" So that's the first thing that I didn't register that. I said, "She tried to commit suicide. When was this?" And I clicked it on, and I read the article, and the first thing I said when I read the article was, "This has got to be a fake article because there's no way it is." But slowly but surely, other articles started to filter in, and I read a lot of them, pretty much too much of them, and each one of them had very contradictory stories, one contradicting the other. The Post, no surprise there. I think the Post has become more of a tabloid media paper than directly a serious newspaper at times. They had Paris Jackson. If you look at the Post picture, if you ever find it on Google, it looked like a mugshot. That's how weird that picture looked when they had it. And they said the Jackal's curse. And I'm like, and by the way, before I even go continue, can you stop calling Michael Jackson Jackal? He's gone, okay? Give the man some respect and just call him Jackson, please. Call him Michael Jackson, or just call Paris Jackson his daughter. Why continue to put that name there? I mean, come on. He's gone. He's dead. Give him that respect, okay? That's my own opinion about that. But they did said Jackal's curse, and there goes Paris Jackson's picture. And I read the article, and every time I read these articles, the more I'm scratching my head and saying, what provoked this. They said that there was a couple of tweets that she did, which is the only consistent thing. So obviously this is actually true. There was a couple of tweets that she did. Her friends were sad to hear this. But the one thing that is not clear is what prompted her to do this. Was this something that went unnoticed? Because they said that because the reports continue to say she had cuts on her wrist, and it was pretty much all but confirmed by the hospital that she was treated for cuts on her wrist. Whether or not she took any kind of poison narcotics, I don't know. At least not from what I'm hearing. It's too yes, no, maybe, possibly to actually say yes, this is what she's taken, because again, they have not really given a full status on what's going on. And apparently the judge is not happy about it either, because the judge is saying, what the hell is going on? And again, and it's not surprising, the Jacksons are not really saying much. The Jackson has in fact, some of their spokespeople has pretty much, backed away from answering any further questions. And for the judge, I think that's a red light. And the judge hasn't forgotten, to keep that in mind, about some of the stuff that happened last year with the mother situation, her almost losing the rights to care for the Jackson kids. She got that rights back, but the judge never kept something in the back of her mind. Okay, something's wrong. Let's see what goes on. And now you have this. You think the judge is going to be saying, okay, we can't investigate? No, they're going to look into this, because those are minors, those are children, and they're going to say their lives could be in danger. Unless the Jacksons, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, have a legitimate reason as to what happened, this could prompt the judge to say, take those kids out of their hands, because they're in danger as long as they're there. And I'm gonna be honest with you, who to say they're wrong? Who to say the judge is wrong at this point? I mean, there's obviously something going on that no one seems to know about. I know people saying, "Oh, it's not our business," but when it comes to, they're still minors, they're still children. Yeah, they went through hell with all the stuff that's going on right now. But one gotta ask, just how much are they really being cared for? Just how much are they being provided for? And just how much is this media scrutiny, which has happened in the last year and a half, is really starting to wear on them? And this is something that I think, as strange as it is, Michael Jackson was actually fearful of, and tried his best to protect him from. Unfortunately, his death, you cannot do that anymore, and now we're starting to see a lot of stuff that we don't normally see right here. And I'm not convinced that there's unity within the Jackson clan. I never was convinced there was unity during the early 90s, when all these schemes kind of came out of nowhere. But to me, it says a lot. It really does. I'm thankful that she's getting the help that she needs, getting the treatment. Hopefully she's getting more treatment, psychological treatment. She's speaking to the counselor. I hope that will help things. But I think they have to go a little bit further. I think they're gonna have to I think the judge is gonna have to ask some tough questions, saying what the hell is going on in that household, and what are you gonna do to prevent this stuff to happen again? If he does decide to say, okay, it's still safe, but you don't want to say, okay, they're good, they're fine, case dismissed. No, you want to make sure they're actually okay. You want to make sure that that Michael Jackson's mother, who is of age, let's be realistic here, and is raising not one, not two, but 4 kids. Okay, and that's just something that you got to keep that in mind. And I think that I really am worried that she's not capable of doing that right now. I was very worried when I saw that media press conference, you want to call it, where she was making that statement about her whereabouts. And I'm even more concerned because of this last suicide. And again, the one thing I'm not buying, and this is something I'm going to make it thrown out there, I'm not buying that she did this because she didn't go to a Marilyn Manson concert. I'm not buying that. When I read that, I said, there's no way in hell a teenager is going to take their lives over a Marilyn Manson concert. I'm not taking anything away from Marilyn Manson. I actually like his work. But there's no way anybody, if she probably might throw a tantrum, she probably might throw a rant, as most teenagers will often do when they don't get their way. But to take her own life, I seriously doubt it. I think there's something else going on. I think there's something that goes way beyond way beyond the situation of a concert. I think this is an ongoing thing, and I think that they really need to address this. Seriously address this. This may be a possibility that she hasn't even gone over her death of her father. And I think no one's taking that to account as well. So, uh, but to me, I'm more concerned right now. I'm getting a little bit tiresome of hearing this stuff from the Jackson clan, and yet they try to cover up like it says nothing's wrong. Something is wrong. Something is terribly wrong, and I think that the judge. I think I give the judges praise to say, hey, look, we gotta investigate this, man. We can't continue going through this. All right, these are kids' lives we're dealing with. The girl's 15 years old, trying to commit suicide. Something is not wrong. Now, a friend of mine, when we had a talk about this, he said that it may be just for attention, that she wants help, and this was the only way she can get help, because from what I understand, it was she who called the 911, the suicide helpline, and some of the tweets that she had made was pretty much her saying, I'm depressed, I'm sad, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Please help me." Because the tweet, if you read the tweet, is kind of a mixed message type of tweet. But again, this is one of the things that I think the judge will take into account. I think the counselor who's talking to her is going to take into account. But most importantly, I think even the family needs to take into account. Something's not right, and I think they need to really address this as much as they can to make sure she's okay, to make sure the kids are okay, and to make sure that these kids grow up well. And I think that's the most important thing right now. Not movies, not music, not the fame, but just them growing up well. If that means keeping them out of the spotlight like Michael Jackson has been trying to do from the very beginning, but pretty much failed in his own way, then so be it. Because frankly, this is not putting that family in a good light. It was already not in a good light to begin with. And I'm not talking about their careers. No doubt, I love Janet Jackson music. I love her performance as an actress. But as terms of her personal life, being exposed like this constantly, it doesn't shine a pretty picture. It only adds raise more questions just how stable the Jackson family really is. Believe me, a lot of people are talking, and I think they need to really start to pay attention to what's actually going on. I'd like to hear your opinion on this. I spent 17 minutes about this. Originally, I was going to do this as a What's News, but I figured this is the best way to reintroduce myself. I'm still here. I'm still making live videos, so I wanted to do this as one of my live videos. And yeah, I like to hear your opinion on this one, because it is something. I'm a big time Michael Jackson fan. I liked the Jackson 5. I grew up with the Jacksons, Janet Jackson included. And to hear their high points and how steadily that family has declined in terms of positive popularity, it really is something. And you can blame the media for so many things. And I know the media has been harsh on some issues. I know that the media has no feelings when it comes to exposing juicy gossip, stories that they believe may bring in them ratings. There's no question about that. Michael Jackson has fallen, it has became very cold on the media for that very reason. Most of it because of the allegations, but just of the stuff that he was also doing, and they really picked on it a lot more than what most media should be doing. But it is what it is. I understand it. But there are some things that is not the media's fault, that they keep bringing out. It keeps coming up to the surface, and I don't really think they understand just how serious it is until it actually hits them square in the face. This hit them square in the face. The media took full control of that. The Post had that as their front page. The Post literally had that as the front page. Daily News, the third page of my paper. Metro definitely had it as one of their small headlines. So that everybody's grabbing hold of this, and it's for a reason. They want to see a train wreck, and unfortunately, a train wreck right now is pretty much Michael Jackson's 15-year-old daughter, attempted suicide. Everybody's going to dig into it, and guess who they're going to also dig into? The Jackson's family. Are they actually raising them? Are they actually doing something to harm them? What are they doing that this girl wants to end her life? And all those can be thrown on their way, and I think they need to understand straight up. Yeah, this is your family business, but you know what? You're also celebrities. You got to make sure you take you at least tend to the family, because I don't think they're doing that, and especially with the Jacksons, with Michael Jackson's kids. Um, to me, I don't think they. I no doubt. I think they care for the kids. They love them deeply, but I think sometimes the fame, the fortune, and everything else seems to get in the way with what's really in front of them. Sometimes there's a mask that sometimes people don't see until it's too late. Until that mask is finally revealed. By then, it'd be too late. That's what basically I'm seeing with everyone here. Hopefully, this is a wake-up call and say, hey, look, this girl, she's crying for help. Help her. Help her. Um, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. I said a lot. I said 20 minutes worth of stuff here. You guys may think I was rambling. That's fine. You guys may think I am over exaggerating. That's fine too. I'd like to hear your opinion. I'd like to hear your own take about it. Do a video response if you want to. But this is my own feeling about this. And to me, it's very sad, really. It really is. I am very, very worried. More so now with Jackson being gone than he was alive. Because as much as we want to criticize him, bash him, there was no question he loved his children, and I think that's one thing I will never take away from him. He wanted to protect his kids. Again, he went about it the wrong way. Again, there was some stuff he did that basically questioned his parentinghood. We all know about the baby in the roof. There's no question about it. But it was nothing compared to what these last 2 years was with, especially with his daughter and the rest of the Jackson clan. So there you have it. But again, you may disagree. Comment below. Let me know what you feel about it. Until then, it's J77 saying take care, be safe. I will be doing a little bit more live action videos whenever I get a chance to. Most of my videos pretty much will stay in audio for now, but the live action is pretty much going to be coming more slowly than surely, especially when I can find a cafe that I can factually feel comfortable without worrying about the nonsense that I've been seeing these last few months. But until then, this is J77 saying take care, be safe. I'll talk to you soon, and thank you for watching.